welcome back to my channel. If you saw my previous video where I did an unboxing of the Art to Basic watercolors, I had mentioned that I was going to do a swatching and put them in this little tin here that came with my order. However, as I started putting the magnets on, I noticed there's a little lip in here, which normally would be fine if I had, I think I figured 24 watercolors, but I have, I think, 28. So what was happening is they were going off, and it might not bother you. They were tilting. And so I had put some little pieces of paper here to try to even it out, and it was just wonky, and I knew that it would frustrate me if they were tilted, because then the pigments would be dripping, or could be dripping out of the pans, because the pans are really full. So I decided to go back to my original plan, which was to use just a regular watercolor tin, and this holds like 48. So it gives me room to grow. I printed off this little template, which is 12 across, 4 down, which is what this is, and on watercolor paper, excuse me, because I like to put those in the lids so that I have them and I can take them out. I don't laminate them or anything, which maybe I will in the future, but again, this will leave me some room on the bottom to add more to the collection when I purchase again. I am hoping I will. I'm planning on. I have not swatched any of these colors yet, so I don't know what they're going to look like. This is Canson XL watercolor paper, inexpensive paper, and fun to play around with, and not too precious is what I'm trying to say. So this is the Roben-Marie Smith collection. I'm going to start with this. She has 5 watercolors in her collection. On the back, once I'm done, I am going to tape the list of watercolors so that I know. I've also written the numbers on the swatching card here. So the first one, and I could be saying this wrong, is Perignon Orange, and I'm going to put hers in the first in the palette in a place of honor. 11 is Blue Duck, and it says Blue Duck, not blue, but green, smiley face. Okay. 40 is Dark Violet. 7 is Rose Fuchsia. And 10 is Lemon Yellow. So I'm going to swatch it here, but I'm also going to swatch it in this page that will be part of a swatching kind of journal that I can add to as I swatch more colors. So on this one, what I'm going to do is, for Roben-Marie, since there are less colors, I'm going to use 2 things. One is a swatching art foamy. This is a prototype. The actual foamy will be released most likely in January. I'm filming right now at the end of November. And one of the reasons why the main reason I wanted to wait until, I did not want to wait until the art foamies were released, is because I'm using just Stays On ink, because I know it's oil based and some people don't use it on paper, but I like it on paper. The reason why I'm doing this right now and not waiting is because I'm going to be stamping off the paper, because she has 5 colors and I'm okay with that. The reason I'm not waiting is because the owner of Art to Basic is in Denmark, and she is shipping to the US until December 1st. So if you have been thinking about getting any watercolors from her, now is the time. This is a art foamy that I designed in May. I think it was released May of 24. So it's no longer on their website, but it is on my Etsy site. I'm fairly new to YouTube, so I'll try to remember to put a link in the description. And so this is it was designed as a swatching foamy. But I have also used it just as a texturing foamy as well. And it's kind of like the lines are really wonky, and I have used acrylic paint on here. I think I didn't clean it as well. That might be why the stamping is a little not as dark and perfect as this, but you know what? That's okay. Could just be the second stamping will be better. So I'm just going to put the number here. So we have 22, 11, 40, and 7. I'm going to do the same thing here. 22, 11, 40, 7, 22, 11, 40, 7, 10, 10, 10. Okay. I don't know how much water it's going to take to awaken, I'm using air quotes, awaken these paints. So I am going to not spray them with anything for right now. And I will do the first, which is Paranon Orange. So if you know anything about Roben-Marie Smith, she is a mixed media artist, and she uses a lot of very bright colors. So I'm going to go right into the paper. Usually when I do watercolors, I will put them first in some sort of mixing dish. Actually, what I'll do, excuse me, let me do that. I bought these on Amazon. They're like little, I don't know if they're like soy sauce containers, but they're great if you have a small desk. Because I remembered I'm also going to do some color mixing. So let me put some 4 little rando things here. Okay, so this is the orange. Ooh, this is really pretty. I thought it was going to be brighter, but it's a little bit more muted, which I like. I don't know how it's coming across on camera. That's really pretty. And so then I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it here in the 22 to 22 spot. I'm going to wipe my brush off and then put it in water so I have less, it keeps my water a little cleaner. And yes, I'm wasting pigment, which I don't like to do, but sometimes that's what you have to do. I'm going to actually jump to yellow next, because if I do get watercolor, my paint water a little muddy, I'd rather have it muddy with a yellow than with a darker color. So here's 10. This is lemon or yellow lemon. I'm getting a little bit more in my brush just to see kind of how dark that gets. I'm going to put on my swatching card here. Excuse me, I'm a tickle. And I'm going to put it 10-10 here. I might write the names in here later. I usually do, but just for speed's sake, I'm not going to. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit more on my brush and I'm going to go over here to this little pile here. And I have now mixed 22 and 10. So right here, I'm going to do 22 and 10. And recently I saw somebody, I think it was on YouTube, where they did, well, no, it was on YouTube, where they did lighter mixes on top and darker mixes on the bottom. So I'm actually going to add a little bit more of the color on the left-hand side to the second swatch. Let's see if I might mess this up, but let's try it. So it's more yellow than orange, whereas this is more even. So 22 and 10 with more yellow. Okay. Definitely more yellow. And let's let this dry and see what it looks like at the end. Okay, so I'm going to, usually again, I don't waste any pigment, but I really don't want some of these colors to mix. Okay, so I only needed 4 of these here because the 5th one would be the color and the color. All right, so number 11 is Blue Duck. It says blue, not green. I am a little surprised there's not a blue in this mixture, but ooh, that's pretty. So then here we're going to do 11 and 11. Add a little bit more water to my brush, and here I'm going to put the 11. Okay, now we are going to mix 11 and 22. Now here you have to be careful because you don't want these colors to mix because this is still wet. So if I wanted to, I could jump to 40 and then go back and do this one later. I might do that. And then what I might do is actually do the mixing and then speed it up. Okay, so the third one is Dark Violet. That's number 40. Now since I placed my order in the last few days, I noticed that I'm getting more pigment, that some of these sets have gone, are out of stock. I will be swatching the pink one, which is out of stock. However, there is a smaller version of the pink one, so you can still get it. Because these watercolors are handmade, I am assuming that if she does make any of the watercolors again, it'll be sometime. I sell Daniel Smith hand-poured watercolors on my Etsy site, and I'll tell you, it takes a long time to just hand pour watercolors because you have to let them dry, then they settle. This is how I do it: they dry, settle. You have to tap it off, dry, tap it off again. It takes some time. And so if she does come out with some of these sold out collections again, I am assuming it's going to be some time. So if you're into pinks, I would say get the smaller version before it sells out. Okay, so this is the fresh out of the pan Roben-Marie Smith collection. And so what I'm going to do is I am going to color mix the rest of these, and I will speed it up and put it to some music. So let's see what this watercolor will look like here. We'll put some there. So everything is dry now. I did help it along a little bit with a heat gun. This is a very beautiful palette. It would be great for people who are who really enjoy doing florals. The colors are very bright, but you can also mute them down like what I did with the dark burnt umber. That is what's called a mother color. Mother color can be either a combination of all the colors, or it can be one color that you add to every color to kind of unite them. And with a color like this, the dark burnt umber, it really mutes it. So for 2025, 26, end of 25, 26, I'm trying to create a color palette that I like to use throughout all the things that I'm doing, so that if I make a paper for one thing, I can use it for something else. It's something that they talk a lot about in fodder school. So what I think I want to do, though, these are the muted colors, which are more in line with my color palette. And so what I thought that I would do is, I do want to have a record of what these colors look like muted. So what I think I'm going to do is add one to each of these below here, and so that I have a record. And so I think I'm just going to do that from these swatches. So let's, if I had made a bigger swatch, I could have done it a little bit more solid, but what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to pick a swatch. Get Tim Holtz Tiny Attacher. Just going to use a Tim Holtz Tiny Attacher, and I am going to put these, just not going to work. Maybe I'll do these at the bottom. Yeah. And then the green. And the purple. Just the dark violet. And the rose fuchsia. And lemon yellow. There we go. That's the Roben-Marie special collection from Art to Basic. Thanks for watching.